Alright, chat, so we are going over attacks from Blue Team level, Blue Team online. So personally, this is the longest level I've done so far, and this was apparently fucking easy, so yikes. Total of 4 or 5 hours to do this. I was taking like probably most of the questions pretty easy. It's just a couple of questions, like really just this question that like had me stuck for a while. It's a long lab, but it's easy because all you're doing is like going through logs. So I'm not gonna go over every question just because it's like hard to dig through, hard to recreate like 4 hours of work. But I'll walk you guys through it and kind of go over how I was able to find things. So this is the first question. All I really did was like you can kind of tell that this guy's going through all the common ports, SSH, HTTP, so it's probably port scan. I think I just had to search port scan in the MITRE attack framework, and then also like pay attention when you're doing these questions to like what the field of technique is, because that'll give you clues into what it's. So it's like reconnaissance, so it has to be one of this, and then you just got to find which one is. It's probably this one, right? Active scanning. They're actively scanning what ports are open. So that's all I had to do. Second question. This one's pretty easy. If you've done like the Blue Team level 1 lab, then like you know netstats, like what you use to check what ports and stuff you're connected to, right? Like the network status. Now you're gonna go into logs, and basically I think you use the OpenSSH log. So there's 3 logs. OpenSSH is for any networking stuff. Security is for anything related to like accounts, logons, and stuff. And sysmon is like for what the fuck is going on, like what commands are they running, what like is changing in the computer. So it's a lot more detailed. You'll spend a majority of time in sysmon and security. OpenSSH is just for, I forgot what's even in here, to be honest. But probably like IP addresses and all that. Yeah. So what user account has been accessed by the attacker? For this, I honestly manually went through a fucking log to figure it out because I didn't know what like user accounts look like. But if you're going through this, right, I mean, you know, like someone's like there's so many failed login attempts in like a short period of time, that you can tell the user is probably trying to get into administrator, and eventually they do get in. Just kind of fucked up. So you can just put that as an answer. I think this is clearly this. That's the answer. Like, okay, this is probably the first lab where having a timeline is pretty important, just because the amount of logs make it a bit annoying to deal with. There's so many logs. There's like logs out of the time range, but like a lot of what happens in this lab is like around this time, 5:14 p.m. It's like, you know, you can like clearly once you get to the sysmon logs, I would very much recommend like going around to like 5 o'clock and just reading all the logs for an hour, and then you'll get a good picture of like what's going on. Again, you can just brute forcing, right? Like pay attention to what the subfield is. Initial access. Go to initial access, and then you know it's probably one of these. I think it was valid accounts, because he's not trying to, or I think it's brute forcing. I just don't know which one it is, because there's sub techniques, right? But I mean, you can just ask ChatGPT based on what you're seeing, and it'll give it to you. So now, what's the credential access? Again, do the same thing. Go to the framework, get a good idea. Oh, okay, so this one's brute force. Oh, for sure. But get a good idea of like what all of these are doing. I mean, really, the purpose of this lab is to teach you what's like how to use this, and then what the common attacks are. What account did the attacker create? So for this, you're going to want to go to the security log events, and if you go look around this timeline, you'll be able to see. You'll be able to basically see here. Like, I would definitely recommend using like filters to filter the timeline, right? But I'm not going to do that. So yeah, if you go around this 5 p.m. time, and it's like not even fucking chronological, like it's so weird. I mean, it's 10:22, right? It's a little bit, I mean, this is the date that it happened. Let's see, okay, so it's around this time. You'll kind of see what they're doing. Like, yeah, you'll be able to see that the administrator account. Okay, so the administrator at this point is still trying to log in. They're still trying to brute force, but at some point they will get authentication. Oh, I think they're. Oh, also for this attack, they're clearly exploiting OpenSSH. I don't know how they did it. Yeah, so they eventually get access to it. Which I think is around this time. Looks like they've already privilege escalated at this point, right? They're in admin, and as you can see, they're creating new accounts as admin. So you can put that in for that answer. And then for all this, like, you're gonna want to search up the Windows security log event. So I think it's like 5.7.20, and then you'll be able to see. Then this becomes a lot easier once you know like what you're looking for. So you're looking for account creations, right? So you're just gonna plug this into Google and be like event ID. This will give you 4720. So now you're going to go back, look into the filters, and just plug in 4720. And as you can see, this is like everything else is irrelevant because we know the attacker was active on 11/18, and that's when the account was created. So this makes things easier. You can also see what they deleted. Again, go back to deleted account 4726. Put the filter in. Look for the time range of November 18th around this time, and you'll get the account. You can basically do that for the next couple of questions. And then I think from question 14 all the way through fucking 24 is sysmon, which. Oh, also just FYI, I think one of the questions is the attacker adding that sysadmin to a different group. Oh yeah, so this one, right? So adding accounts to admin group event ID 4732, right? You're gonna want to look that up, and you're not gonna see. So he created sysadmin, right? We saw that. You're not gonna see sysadmin be created, but you're gonna see an account being added with a certain SID. So I think it's security event a security ID, and if you go cross check. the SID of the sysadmin account being created, you'll see the matchup. So you know that the account he just added to the admin group is actually the sysadmin account. So now going to, what do we say, extract compressed files. There's not a lot of file compression extensions, right? I think there's only a couple. There's .zip, there's .7z. So you're going to be able to go into sysmon and basically search it up. And I think I found .rar, and it was like keylogger.rar, and that was like a huge clue, right? Because now for the first time I actually know what the fuck they're running. And I think I searched up keylogger, and you can also see where they're downloading it from GitHub, like all the commands. So I just searched up keylogger.rar, and this dude is the one that's creating it. This gave me a huge clue, because literally the last question is who created the GitHub, like who on GitHub created this malware, and it was this guy. So that then I know exactly what's going on. They're installing a malware that's basically keylogger. So then you can collection technique. Yeah, just go back to the framework. It's probably input capture, right? Because you're capturing the input of fucking keystrokes. Dig in deeper for the sub technique. The two files that are created. Honestly, if you go look up the keylogger GitHub, I would just read through this real quick. It's literally these two files being created. You'll see that being downloaded like after. So they download the .rar file, and then they also download 7-zip to unzip it. And these are the two files that come out of it. And you're just gonna enter in the folder that it goes into. If you keep following it, honestly, you have to go through manually the logs. But they're all within that time frame, which is super nice. You're gonna see this .sys file created. It's still, I think there's like two more, but this one's clearly suspicious, and it's like it directly references, I think, SVC host. Grab the time date. Now, at this point, your registry keys, event IDs are 13. So these are pretty important. So that's what you're going to use. This was probably the hardest question for me. So yeah, now you're within like a couple minutes time frame, but it's just super annoying because if you don't know what the fuck like a reg value is, like this took me hours, man. So I went on Discord and I was like, yo, what the fuck am I looking at? Actually, there's a guy that's actually being stuck with it. I'm gonna DM him right now and see if he wants help. But essentially, the advice I got was in that server, and it was like, go ahead and do the rest of the questions, and then come back to 22 and 23. So I'm gonna literally copy paste this, and I'm gonna tell them like, hey, that was the hint I got. You need to use the malware to find malware name. Okay, so I'm not gonna give them an answer because I don't know just did this snitch or not. But I'll basically tell you guys like the. So first of all, I filled out this and then I went to this, right? The persistence is run boot. Like I talked to ChatGPT and I was like, hey, what MITRE attack did you think this was? And they were kind of fucking with me. Actually, keylogger MITRE attack. So this is wrong. This is fucking wrong. This is also wrong. So you just get thrown off pretty hard. But then if you actually remember, a lot of the ways these like just like any sort of malware avoids persistence is through putting itself in registered keys, and every time the computer starts, it'll like also start the malware, and that's how it hides without being deleted. So one of them was pretty easy to find. I know SVC host was part of it, right? So I'm just looking for anything with 13 and SVC host. Boom. SVC host, 7-zip. This is all making sense to me. And this is also H key, right? And run key. So that's part of the. So I just grab this. That's the reg value, and also run. So a lot of things are making sense at this point after I read the MITRE attack framework. Where the fuck is it? Persistence. So that's the technique, and the registry run keys, right? So a lot of things are adding up. Just giving him a hint. So there's this one, and then there's another one for the run DLL file, which is so fucking far off. Somewhere. But you just grab and throw in the reg value and then the second reg value, and that's it. Then like you should already have these filled out, and that's all. Alright, see ya.